He's tall, dark, handsome, and muscular. He buys me gifts. He takes me on exotic trips. He calls me all the time. Hello there, welcome to our page. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for clicking on this video. Here we have discussions on family affairs. If that is something you're interested in watching and supporting, we invite you right now to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, like, comment, and share our videos so we can invite others into our community. One of the worst things that can happen to someone is having to share a space with somebody that they do not like, having to cohabit with somebody that they cannot stand. That is the worst punishment ever. That brings me to the question of the day. Do you like your spouse? Do you like your spouse? I know that somebody somewhere is hitting their head and wondering, do I like my spouse? Do I really like my spouse? Let me go ahead and help you with some signs that are an indication that you no longer like your spouse. First, their presence or the thought of them irritates you. And then second of all, you always talk down on them to others. And then another sign that you no longer like your spouse is that you keep comparing them with others. One other sign that is actually very, very dangerous is the one that you do not wish them to succeed. Most times every time they try to do something, you are predicting already that they are going to fail. These are just some signs that you do not like your spouse anymore. The big question now is, how did we get there? How did you get to the point that you can no longer stand to be around somebody that you were crazy about, somebody that you used to be excited to hear from, somebody that when you're talking about them, there's this high in your voice because you admire and love them so much? How did we get to the point that you can no longer stand them, that you are irritated by their presence, that you talk down on them to people, and that you're comparing them with other people? How did we get there? The magic word is familiarity. It is simply familiarity. And familiarity is simply knowing someone or something very well. Now that's your spouse, you know their ins and their outs. You know their positives and their negative sides. You know their weaknesses and you know their strengths. This is what has changed. You are too familiar with them. And we all know that there is a saying that says that familiarity brings contempt. Contempt will come if you are not intentional about fighting it. It will come. It has come for every couple out there. It will come for your own. You just have to begin to fight that contempt intentionally. Fight it with a goal. And what is that goal? That goal is, I will like my spouse. Also, fight it with the understanding that contempt is simply a notion that they are lesser than you and you are more than them. They are lesser than you and that you are better than them. That is simply what contempt is all about. It is simply a misguided notion because you are not better than them and they are not lesser than you. You must fight contempt selfishly. You must fight it with a goal, knowing that if you don't fight it, you probably will become miserable. Be selfish about fighting it. It is about your peace of mind and your mental health. How do you fight it? Fight it, first of all, by acknowledging the fact that you are not perfect. Acknowledge the fact that you have your own flaws. Also fight it by replacing every negative with a positive. That's your spouse, that's your partner that you probably cannot stand at the moment. They have positive traits. They have very good characters. If they did not have good characters, you will not have married them in the first place. Fight it by resisting the urge to criticize them. Fight it by appreciating any little thing they do. Make any little thing they do that you like, make it look so big. When you do that, you are fighting contempt. You need to put in some work into it. Remember that marriage is work, and nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy. Also, it is unfair for you to begin to judge me or judge your spouse based on their negative flaws alone. As long as they are not violent and somebody that you are afraid will kill you at any moment, they deserve their positive to outweigh their negative flaws. Even if it doesn't outweigh, it should at least be at par. So did you just discover that you no longer like your spouse? Don't worry, all is not lost. You can do something about it. You just need to do a little work intentionally. You can also just go a step further as well by writing down all or most of your partner's positive traits. And then I beg you, please, when you're writing down their positive traits, don't be writing things like he's tall, dark, handsome, and muscular. He buys me gifts. He takes me on exotic trips. He calls me all the time. Or she's beautiful. She takes care of herself very well. She can cook. And she's well educated, therefore has a bright future. These traits are traits that can fade away. You should be noting down traits like he communicates, they are compassionate, they are loyal, they are respectful, they are family-oriented, they make me laugh. They are sympathetic. He or she is a person of integrity. These are virtues that people would never lose in their lifetime. So you have to be intentional about the traits, the positive traits of your partner that you are writing down, because this will help you anytime you get to the point when you're about to have that feeling of contempt towards them. It's good to refer back to all those positive traits that you have written down so that they can remind you of the reason why you are with them in the first place. Also, it is good for us to note that most times when we are unhappy, we tend to point the finger at our spouse as the reason for our unhappiness, instead of taking time to talk to the man in the mirror. 90% of the time, the solution is not separation or divorce. We just need to take time to talk to the man in the mirror. As long as you have a partner who is not violent and someone that you are afraid will kill you at any moment, you need to take time also to talk to the man in the mirror, because sometimes that change that we're looking for is basically going to start with us as well. Please do something about that contempt today. Tomorrow may just be too late. I end today's episode with a quote from a bishop that I highly respect, and it says, "Speak without being offensive, listen without being defensive, and always leave your opponent with their dignity." Thank you so much for watching. See you at the next one. Bye-bye.